Well, no, I'm a Pro Tools user, and I like to make funny sound effects and edit them and sequence them in Pro Tools. And this is my home studio, which is a smaller studio than what I usually work out of. But it's just a place where I sort of formulate ideas and do certain things along those lines. I have a Pro Tools HD2 here, and I am kind of a plug-in geek. However, I like to use different types of organic sounds mostly. Sometimes I like to take sounds and put them in with a sampler or a sequencer, something like Sample Cell or Mach 5, and take those and you can play them at different pitches on a keyboard. This one's kind of dirty and dusty because I haven't used it in a while, because again, this is my home studio. But like taking those sounds and playing them at different speeds and other types of manipulative ways make them interesting, especially if you take things like crickets or wind or cicadas or thunder or whatever. You can play at different pitches, and that's a lot of fun. And up here, before you know it, you have things like microphones, which are kind of like, if you'll notice, it's kind of like it has that Star Destroyer feel to it, It's like how long the ship is, and it makes this kind of funny noise. Well, anyway, but actually, I go out and record and find sounds and I still have a DAT machine here for the sound gurus out there. That's pretty archaic. And a nice preamp, the Lunatech V2. This is not a V3. The V3 is the new digital version. Again, I work with what I got, not with all the money that somebody gives me. But the truth is I've been using that stuff for about 10 years and it works great. That doesn't mean that for this project I will or will not use that, because where I'm currently working right now I have access to some beautiful, nice hard disk recorders, which I'd like to get in the 96 kilohertz land. But anyway, no, and then, I'm a Macintosh guy. I like to work primarily with Macintosh Pro Tools stuff. Doesn't mean that I don't think PCs are cool. This is all unplanned. Robert has done this without me really thinking about what we were going to do or talk about. So this is just something that happens to be on my hard drive. My friend is a sculptor in Oakland, California. Several years ago I recorded him with he had a welding rig playing it through a tube. And when you play fire from a welding rig through a long metal tube, maybe it sounds like that. It's got a lot of reverb on it and obviously stuff, but that kind of whomp that happens right when we go from outside the wormhole to inside the wormhole. Right? And so then maybe there's going to be another sound that happens up here. That's like just a thump, because we got to have the journey down the wormhole stop and kind of ricochet back, right? So it's just going to be a thump. So then we got other kinds of sounds that come into the whole. We're going to have like that's just the sound of my friend David blowing on a microphone, right? Right, and then we're going to have some sound of a parachute opening with a lot of reverb. Right, you take the parachute sound and the blowing on the microphone, and you have right, and you play them all together, you got some kind of crazy shit. Brilliant. Anyway.